Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Real Deal. And today I'm going to touch on a subject that deals with everybody. Everybody deals with this on a daily basis. This is in just about everybody's life and artificial intelligence. Just say it like it is AI. Artificial intelligence is taking over, and people are letting it. They sit back, they use it on a daily basis, and they might complain about it all the time, but they're using it. And it's growing in bounds. And it's nothing new. Now, back in the day, way back in the Middle Ages and stuff, you would see stuff writing in books and pictures and people predicting. In Greek mythology, even, they talked about mankind being metal, like robots, what we call robots. And they were predicting this stuff. And they were talking about it way back then, like maybe this would happen. So, and it has happened. And it's just, I am not a fan of it. I try not to use it unless it's built into the system I'm using. And sadly, sometimes it is. Sadly, it's built into a program that you have to use. I don't like it. I don't like what it is. I don't like where it's going. And it's nothing new. This has been around. Well, they started working on things in the 30s and stuff, but it became a big thing with Dartmouth University, a guy there in the 50s. And they started coming up with this, started working on it. Now, mind you, we didn't have the computers that we do now. I remember back in the 60s, late 60s and 70s, when you'd see a room of computers, and that whole room, I mean, a huge giant room, was one computer. And my first cell phone, I mean, I don't know, my first iPhone has more memory than my first computer did. I mean, we've come a long way, some for the better, some for the worse. And artificial intelligence is for the worst, people. Like I said, they started working on it in the 50s. And then the name came in 1956. They coined the phrase. And they went to the U.S. government, go figure, and they were funding it. They were funding the research of it. They were dumping millions of dollars into it. And then it kind of dipped down a little bit, but then it moved up in the 70s. It really started to advance. But I mean, in the 50s, these guys went to the government and said, hey, we've come up with this concept, and they had proof of it. They weren't using computers, they were using circuitry, like kind of like Tesla did in a way. They were using circuitry, and they were showing them that this can think for itself. Think about how this could help us. Help or hinder? They didn't ask that. And they said, hey, yeah, and I'm sure they used the Cold War. It's like, we could beat the communists if we had one of these. Well, let's do it. And the U.S. government gave them millions of dollars. And they said, this aspect of machines will be as smart as humans, and it could exist in this generation. It didn't, but our government dumped millions of dollars into it. And in the 70s, it started to really take off because computers were coming along. And so they were hooking it up to computers, and they were working on that, and it really got advanced. In the 80s, it took off big time. The Japanese had learned all about it. The British had learned about it. And they were putting billions of dollars into this, along with the United States, of course. And then, obviously, you know what was going on then. You had Windows 95. Everybody had a household computer now. They were getting faster. They were getting stronger. Cell phones, like I said, my first cell phone, my first iPhone, more memory than my first computer did. I mean, my first computer had 256 gigabytes of memory. And, I mean, that's a lot, but not compared to today's cell phones. It's just, we've come so far. But sometimes the further we go, the less advanced we get. The smarter we become, as they say, the stupider we become. And the lazier we become. Now, in the 2020s, where we're at now, it has boomed big time. You've got Grok, you got ChatGPT. They do all your thinking for you. You got kids in school that can't write cursive and can't read an analog clock, but they can write a good thesis on something because ChatGPT does it for them. And the problem is, like I said, it's making people lazy. It's making people stupid. And throughout time, throughout history, there have been books written about this stuff. And it never ends well. It's never going to end well. And there were movies has predicted this stuff, basically telling us, stay away from this. I don't know if you remember the 1968 Stanley Kubrick film. You remember Stanley Kubrick. He's the guy that faked the moon landing, did all that stuff. But anyway, in 68, he had 2001 and Space Odyssey. It's a pretty decent flick. It's all over the place, but it does educate you and makes you think a little bit. And HAL was the artificial intelligence on the ship. Now, this was 68. He's predicting, only a little over 30 years coming into the future, this is going to happen. He was kind of correct. Off by a couple years, but he was correct. Because now look at it. You got Alexa talking to you. You got all these home things. And you know what? They're watching you. They're spying on you, people. They know everything you do, man. Just like your cell phone. You sit there and you say something about let's say you're talking about a car. And the next thing you know, you're getting ads for that car brand. But Hal, in the 2001 Space Odyssey movie, he took over. He was killing everybody. And he didn't want to die because he knew if they took him down, he was going to be gone. It's basically his death. And he knew he had to do something. And this was a big warning, people. I mean, it was like Kubrick was reaching out and knew something. And I still believe that he did. I believed he saw this stuff and said, hey, this isn't going to work too well, And he's right. It's taken over and it's making people lazier. It's making them ignorant. I won't even say that. Making them stupid. And it's making them, there's no compassion. There's less empathy. People can't talk to one another anymore. I saw the other day that the girl that won the world's texting contest, the fastest texter in the world, couldn't hold a conversation. Sure could text fast, but she couldn't speak for herself. She couldn't talk to another human being. It's sad. And Hal and AI, which is what he was, he took over everything till they figured out how to dismantle him. But you know what? I'll be honest with you. Most people don't understand technology. I worked in the computer industry, and I've watched this from day one come on. I watched some of our programs when we made them, and I was like, this is weird because this is pretty smart because it could predict your thoughts. And I'm like, how does it know that? How does it know that? Because it picks up on your algorithms of the things that you search for and the things that you think about and you put down in your computer and stuff. Now you don't even have to put it down because we're being listened to all the time, constantly. Like I said, you got Alexa, you got your phone, you got the television. If they can beam something into you, they can beam something out, people. Come on now. And you might say, oh, this is a conspiracy theory. Yeah, maybe it is. But you know what? I can name probably 50 conspiracy theories off the top of my head. I'm not going to because it's going to take a lot of time. But I can name them, and they all were true. And that's what's happening now. You can say I'm out there or whatever, but I'm telling the truth. You know me. I'm trying to educate y'all. Wake you up, man. Modern PCs, the modern computers, there's so much artificial intelligence on these things, man. We've come so far. The memories are so big. You got a little freaking laptop, like, 16 by 12 inches, man, 2 inches thick. There's more memory on that than there was in the computers that supposedly sent people to the moon. I mean, we've come a long way. And that's okay to come far with technology if it's going to help. If it's going to hinder and hurt, it's not a good thing. We have become too advanced with our technology. The artificial intelligence has become way advanced. All right, So I still remember the first time it hit me was in 1997. And I was working in the computer industry then. I was a software designer, and I would work on this. And back then, it was a lot harder than it is today because now this stuff can design itself. So you're telling me a machine, something that you design, can design itself and make more of it and put the imperfections out. If you made a little mistake with something, it can make it better. It's doing your job. And I was in the computer industry, software engineer, whatever you want to call us. And I remember watching this on TV. Garry Kasparov was a chess champion, Russian dude, very intelligent, he was a genius, very smart guy, excellent at chess. They came up with a computer system and it played him and he beat it a couple times. But in 1997, Deep Blue, and I watched it, it defeated him. And I remember, and I'll never forget this, him getting up and walking away. And he was blown away. He was freaking out. He was rubbing his head like, no way, this isn't right. These machines should not be able to beat a human in anything. And that's when I got out of the game. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore, man, because I'm not going to contribute to this. I'm not going to contribute to the downfall of the American society, the world society. Technology has come too far. And like I said, the artificial intelligence is destroying us. It's taking over. It's making itself smarter. It's taking jobs. It's going to eliminate jobs. It's doing it on a daily basis. Look at the data centers, people. Look at the data centers they're building to handle this stuff. Now, I see them going up all over it. I see people always saying they don't want it in their neck of the woods. They don't want it in their township, in their community, in their town. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you do. But these big, powerful corporations out there, they can do whatever they want. They got the money. They got the power. They got the clout. They control the government. They control the people. It's been like that for years. And we sit back and vote people in, and they're the idiots that do this. And people are just stupid, man. Machines are taking over and we're letting them. And so the data centers come in, and I see these people complaining about it. But yet at the same time, they're using artificial intelligence on a daily basis, all the time. Well, it's your fault. They have to build so many of these things. Now, there's a lot of conspiracy theories about the data centers, about how they are just a front. Underneath them are bunkers for the rich and the, magnificent and the famous and the people that are better than us and the billionaires. But people, that's not true. I mean, that's very easy to prove, and it's not true. But you're going to hear that. You're going to hear a lot of stuff. But they're taken away from the main center of attention, and that's artificial intelligence. I don't like the data centers because they're storing all this stuff, and they hurt our ecology. They use a ton of water, and there's not a lot of jobs provided in there. A huge data center might have 200 people working for it. Your average size one might have maybe 20 people. And for the amount of water and electricity and everything else going through there, I don't really like that. It hurts our ecology way too much for that. Now, a factory might use 5 million tons of water a day. 5 million gallons, sorry. But they might use more than that. But that's a factory with thousands of people in it. Yes, they need to keep that stuff going. They need to keep the machines going. Things like that, because they're building cars and other things to help us out, man. Data centers, I have a problem with. I don't like them. I don't want them. We have a couple in my town. They're not near me. Thankfully, I don't want them near me because they're going to cause problems. And they're just taking over, man, and it's horrible. It's just horrible. Now, there's a lot that goes on with our society. We are very dependent on artificial intelligence. We are very dependent on the internet. We are strung out on the internet. We have cell phones. Most people don't have a house phone anymore. And you see your cell phone go down. The technology's there. It goes down for one day, though. What happens? People panic. People freak out. People can't do anything because they can't think on their own. Just like when the electricity goes out, they don't stop and think, maybe I'll just go cook on the grill out back. Or maybe I'll go and I'll start a fire and cook there. They don't know what to do. People are so dependent on these things, they don't know what to do when they go down. And what is to stop the government or the powers that be to shut this all down? We're so dependent on the grid, people. All they have to do is pull the plug. It's mass chaos. It's going to be people panicking and killing each other. And it's so easy to do. It's so easy to control mankind now. It's never been this easy, people. And I'm not scared, but I am a little worried about mankind. I'm worried about our future. We can change it and make it better, and we have to, people. Now, I don't know if you've heard of the thing, and this is connected with artificial intelligence, of the dead internet theory. I mentioned it earlier. Basically, it's the theory that AI and bots are basically controlling the internet, and they are in our interface on a daily basis. Like I've said earlier, it's a conspiracy theory, but many conspiracy theories are true and have been proven true, especially when it comes to the United States government and the CIA. Oh man, there's so many things out there they've done wrong, and they get caught. They just kind of downplay it and brush it off, and everyone's like, they were doing it for the good of mankind. They were doing it for the Cold War to stop the commies and what have you. There's always excuses. But the dead internet theory, I believe, is real. They believe that it's basically AI-generated content. You look at a lot of the things in the videos that you see nowadays, you can't tell whether it's real or not. A majority of it is bots and AI. And it's kind of sad. And the theory is that automated algorithms, rather than genuine human interaction, controls this. Now, this came out about 5 years ago, and it was a fringe idea that, the government or corporations were replacing our regular web traffic with bots to manipulate social behavior and things like that. And honestly, I believe that. And there's been proof by certain corporations that are good and certain people that 50% of all web traffic is automated bots. That's theoretical, but it can be a statistical reality when these people go and they look at and they do a lot of research. That's their job. I personally feel bad for them having to do it because I'd be bored out of my mind, but they're probably getting paid from someone up above to do it. And I mean, our platforms are flooded on a daily basis, and you see it. You know what I'm talking about. Low quality, repetitive AI text, ads and commercials and just everything. And if you're interested in something, you're going to start seeing videos for it. And it's like, you're going to say, oh, that's funny, that's cool, but it's not real. It's not real. And the AI is being geared and run into the data centers, which are hurting us, people. I mean, it's not right. It's sad. But I do believe in the dead internet theory. I do believe that most of the internet now is bots. I believe that a lot of these, you'll see all these, I call them bots, of course, but you'll see them on social media, and they'll make comments and stuff like that. And then if you comment back to them, number one, you'll never hear from them. Or number two, it'll be an automated response. You can tell. It's like, there's no way that person said that. Or you can go look at the profile and see how fake it looks. I mean, there's a lot of people making fake profiles to spread their hate and everything. But there's a lot more to it than that. And people, what can we do? what can we do to stop this? These studies for the dead internet theory have shown that 57% of the web-based text is currently AI generated, or it is translated through the algorithms of artificial intelligence. And they're saying within the next couple of years, it could be 90%. Will we know what's true? No. You go and do a Google search. What comes up? The first thing that'll come up is artificial intelligence. Is it telling you the truth? Maybe a little bit of it is truth, but if you go to other places and look and don't do the AI, you can find real truth. And the reason they do this is it's how they control your brains. It's how they control history. Don't forget, the person that controls the past controls the present. So you might sit there and go, that never happened. There's no proof to it. There's no pictures. There's no books. There's no documentation. Well, of course not. They've destroyed it all. And that's how they control you. And that's the whole goal with artificial intelligence, my friends. They want to control what you do, how you think, how you spend your money, everything. Everything. That's why I hate cryptocurrency. That's why I hate Bitcoin. Because if they control that, you could have 1 million cryptocurrency in the bank, and they could take that from you. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. They know what they're doing. And in this day and age, it's easier than ever, people. Now, this has just recently started happening. This is real. Some of the stuff that you'll hear me saying and other people saying, you know, you have a right to sit there and go, that guy's crazy, man. You don't know what he's talking about. No, I do know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm talking about it to you. Now, this just came about in the past few days. These artificial intelligence laboratories, they got deep pockets. They got billion-dollar companies running the show. They are buying up books left and right. They are buying the books up. They are having their people go into the stores. They're going. It's crazy. It just blows my mind. I can't even comprehend it, man. It's like 1940s Germany all over again. 1930s Germany, where they tried to rewrite all the history. But these AI companies, they are buying all these books up and they're destroying them. They're copying stuff, of course, and they're putting it into chatbot information. They're putting it into the brains of the artificial intelligence. But what they're doing is they're rewriting the books. They're leaving things out, people. And then they are burning the books. This, I know it sounds crazy, but it's real. And if you don't believe me, go look it up. This has just started being informed in the past couple of days. This is real. Why? Why are they buying books up? Well, they'll tell you, they're buying the books so they can put it in these systems so you won't have to read a book anymore. You just read everything on your iPod or your iPad or whatever. You can read it on your phone or on your computer. You don't need a book anymore. But you know what they're doing? Is they're taking the real books away and they're making them fake. They're cheating. They're writing it. They're rewriting it. They're leaving out the good stuff. It's kind of like when you take, let's look at the Christian Bible. It's about 300 pages. And in the very beginning of the Christian Bible, when it was written, started in 70 in the Common Era, it was a lot less pages. The King James Version came around and he added things, he twisted things, he turned it around. The book has been so written and rewritten over the years and misinterpreted when it went into the British policy, into England, and eventually to America, that it's lost a lot of meaning. It contradicts itself. There are so many contradictions in there. And that's what's going to happen with these books. And there's been books that have been banned for years. You know why? Because it'll make you think. Because they don't want you to think about what's going on. They banned certain books, like they banned Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. There's really nothing wrong with that book, man. You know, it's got some curse words in it, but they banned it because the guy that read it killed John Lennon. Why? Because he said John Lennon was a phony, and in the book, they didn't like the phonies. I don't like phonies. I'm not going to kill somebody because they're a phony, but I don't like them. And John Lennon was a very big phony. Talked a good game, but he was a multi-millionaire, and he really didn't help too many people out other than himself. And he did treat a lot of people like dirt. But that's beside the point. So they ban books like this. They don't want you to read this because it made you think. Made you think a little bit. It opened your mind up a little bit. They don't want that. They want to control everything you think and feel. You go into the schools and read the history books, and those things are so distorted. Where do you draw the line, people? And that's what they teach the little kids. The little kid grows up and it's like, well, my history book told me this, so it has to be real because the schools don't lie. The churches will teach you something. It has to be real because the churches won't lie. They're teaching you what they're taught to teach you, people. And that's what's going to happen with artificial intelligence. It's going to take over. It's going to control things. It's going to get to the point where you won't be able to drive your car in certain circumstances. You got those self-driving cars that run into things. What? I'm not trusting somebody to drive a car. I'm not trusting a machine. I don't trust it. And that's what we need to do. We need to quit trusting and relying on this artificial intelligence so much, people. We need to fight back. We need to quit being lazy and so complacent, people. We need to quit relying and supporting so much these alternatives to us being a human. We can write things down on paper still. We can still think for ourselves. We can still believe what we want to. Keep your books, people. Remember the books that you read. Let's get working on our personal habits on a daily basis. Let's try to be nicer to one another. You know, I remember growing up, we gave hugs to somebody that was feeling bad. Now it's bad. Oh, you hugged a guy or you hugged a girl. You must want to fornicate with them. No, I can hug a guy. I'm a guy. I can hug a guy. Or you must be gay. No, I care about them. Some of the old school people, we don't look at it that way. We never did. But you're told nowadays that if somebody gives you a handshake even, oh, you got to watch it. You don't know what they did. They could have had something on their hand. They could have tried to kidnap you. They could have done this. Man, get over yourselves. It happens, but not as much as the good people are that are out there. We got to start talking to one another, people. We got to start listening to people like me and others that tell the truth, because we're only looking out for people. We're looking out for ourselves, but we're looking out for the rest of mankind. Why? We're a dying breed. I'm an old soul in a new world, and I'm not digging it too well, man. And I don't like what the future is coming. I don't like what I've seen. We don't like this. We need to stop and get together. We need to join together and become friends and get along, people. We need to quit relying on every machine to do our work for us. We need to think for ourselves. Write things down. Do things yourself. I don't need a machine to go through my house and vacuum. I can vacuum myself. Give me a freaking break. Just like I don't like dishwashers. I'll do it myself. You don't know what these machines are doing. You're telling me this little Roomba can go around and know where to go? You know it's watching you. Give me a break. And you might say, that sounds crazy. That sounds like a conspiracy. Conspiracies are true, people. Give me a break. If you can see it, what's to say it can't see you? You know there's a little chip in there? Come on, people. We're doing this to ourselves. We're giving up too much of our freedoms, people. Freedoms in the name of laziness. We need to stop using artificial intelligence for routine things. Like I said, vacuum your own house, man. Start your own car. You know, stop using bots to write your emails. Do it yourself. Sit down and do it. Be creative. Do the brainstorming on your own. You don't need a machine to do it for you. Do things the old school way. Write it on paper. Do the math in your head, or at least use a little calculator, because they're not bad yet. Stop engaging so much online with all this AI content. It's slop, it's garbage. But you go on there and you do it in the social media and the marketplaces online and everywhere. Stop engaging with it because eventually it'll have to go away. And let's start supporting humans. Let's start supporting humans out there. People like me that speak the truth. People that'll run a website that will speak the truth. People that will educate you. People read a book. Learn some stuff. Everything that Google tells you is not true. They're trying to control you, people, and I'm trying to help you. And this is the only way we're going to fight back, people. We have to think for ourselves. Oh, it might seem a little lazy having to do things for yourself the old school way, the way I did it, the way our forefathers did it. Heaven forbid you go out and, pick your own vegetables and crops instead of letting a machine do it for you, because that's what's going to happen. And those machines are controlled by artificial intelligence. People, it's time we wake up. We have to push back against all the automation, all the artificial intelligence. We have to push back. We have to fight back. It's not going anywhere. But we have to quit catering to it. We got to stop. Our government should actually be stopping this too. They should be stepping up and helping this a little bit. When I read that they're burning books, good God, man. The Nazis burned books. Americans burned books. They burned a lot of German books during World War II. And they didn't realize it, though. They were burning German Bibles. They didn't care because it was German and it was the Nazis and we were fighting them. Yes, the Nazis were evil, but all we were doing was catering to the needs of them, catering to the needs of the higher powers. And that's what we need to stop doing too. We need to stop relying on our government because they're not doing anything to help us. They've lost their way. It's been like this for years and years. It's been like this for over 100 years. They've lost their way ever since they started enforcing all the taxes on us and all the rules and regulations, and there's going to be more of that, people. It's time we wake up. And the only way we can fight back is to get back to the old school ways of doing it, thinking for ourselves. I'm coming to you honestly because I care. And I always get told, and I learned this as a young age, when you care, people think you're crazy. But I'd rather be called crazy than an idiot. And I care, people. I care for you. I care for this world. We have to fight back on this, all right? You can do it. Just listen and learn, people. I love you all. We're all in this together. Peace and love. Fight the power.